Hey everybody, very welcome along to Houlden's Happy Hour here on the Anfield Agenda. I'm your host Craig. As I said, this is the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel and you are very welcome. I want to start off tonight's stream by sending another massive thank you to Mark Goldbridge for the United stand. He joined us earlier on for a stream to look back over the game between United and Liverpool recently. Always a pleasure to have him on. If you missed out on it, you'll see it in our shows earlier on. Go have a watch of it. Always good to chat to Mark. But guys, look, we're back. Houlden's Happy Hour. I'm exhausted. Today's been such a busy day. How are we? I hope we're all keeping well. Carl Martin's in, Jamin's in, Awfully British is in. John Frusciante, Adrian Hall, Paul Turner, lots of other people as well. Guys, how the hell are we? Now, I want to start off by saying tonight's stream topic, you can see, should Jordan Henderson remain as Liverpool captain next season? Yes or no? Now, on this one, I want to say that this isn't meant to be an invitation to have a cheap dig at Jordan Henderson. Its aim is mainly to have an open and honest debate on whether Jordan Henderson should remain as Liverpool captain. The reason for this is because many of you guys have messaged us and have commented over the months that we've been on, given your opinion on the topic, and it's not something that we've ever really had a chance to talk about. So, for tonight, I thought, hey, let's start and have a bit of an open, honest discussion on Jordan Henderson and a few other bits and pieces as well. Anybody who's popped over from the United stand as well, I can see a few of you in there. Welcome. Thank you for joining, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. As you can see, we're heading towards 10k. Every subscriber helps. Our goal is to get towards 10,000 subscribers before the channel is 1 year old, which is around the 11th of March. So every single one helps. But look, as I said, guys, how are we? Hope we're keeping well. What have we got? Can someone explain why we don't ever switch Mane and Salah over in games? Greg, my friend, I mentioned this on the stream earlier on. I was shocked, absolutely shocked, that we didn't see Jurgen Klopp try and target Ashley Young with Mo Salah. We seen he was being marked out of the game by Luke Shaw, and swapping him over would have made absolute sense to me, but it didn't happen. No point in crying over spilt milk now, but it is something we can certainly discuss going forward, mate, and something that we can certainly comment about and wonder why the hell it didn't happen. Captains are calm and led through their qualities, which is what Virgil has. On this though, let me reiterate what I've said before, and then I'll let you guys have the floor because this is your show. Being captain of Liverpool Football Club is not just going onto the field with an armband on your arm and shouting at people and pointing at people where to go. There's a lot more to being captain of a top tier football club like Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, whoever it might be. You've got social aspects to it, you've got charity work, you've got works with sponsors, you've got to meet fans, you've got press conferences, you've got letters to write. There's so much that goes on with being club captain. And as much as people want Virgil van Dijk to be club captain, maybe he doesn't want to be now. I don't know if he does or doesn't. This is just guesswork. But just keep this in mind when you're talking about the club captaincy, when you're talking about Jordan Henderson. Yes, performances are on the pitch. Our performances on the pitch are vital. But Virgil van Dijk is a leader anyway. So we're going to see him lead because that's just in his demeanour. Henderson is a good leader, said Leitrim for Sam. Jay said, captains are calm and lead to their quality, which Virgil has. BQ said, to be honest, I don't think it really matters to Klopp who the captain is. And you know what, BQ? This is something that I've heard managers that come from the continent speak about before. They think that sometimes us over here in the UK and Ireland put too much scope on the captaincy and we put too much interest in it because it doesn't really mean that much on the field other than who's allowed to talk to the referee. I don't know. It's certainly something we could talk about tonight. Paul G, how are you, mate? Welcome in. October's in as well. Hendo is a flapper, unfortunately, and it ripples onto the other players. No composure or finesse. Composure or finesse. It's an interesting one. I mean, did Stevie G have composure or finesse? He was a bit of a ranter at times as well. He led by example. I would certainly say that one. He did lead by example. Steven Gerrard was clearly able to grab a game by the scruff of the neck. Time for a new era, give it to VVD, said Aganido. Alex Merchant said, you should make Van Dijk captain for the same money we got Lukaku. No, you're alright, mate. You can have Lukaku, keep him. Fuck the Hendo haters. Evening all, should strip Henderson of the captaincy before the end of the season? No, tabloids and tabloid Twitter would go insane. Not helpful in a title race, should be the captain next year, yes. I give it to VVD. I don't think Hendo will be a starter next season, said Skipper Dog. And Kev is in the house. Kev, how are we, pal? Always great to have you in as well. What else we got happening? Big Virgil has the ability to take on the extra pressure. He has shown it by making our back four 10 times better, said Jay. Look, there's no doubt Jurgen Klopp would be happy enough to have Virgil van Dijk as a captain. I'm sure anybody would be happy enough to have Virgil van Dijk as a captain because he is a leader. He is a leader of men, and that much is certain. In this Liverpool team at the minute, I think we're lucky enough that we do have some leaders there. We've got the Dutch international captain. We've got now the Scottish international captain. Henderson was captain of England at one point as well. We've got Alisson behind as well, who's a natural leader. I mean, look at the size of the fella. He's he talks and you're going to listen, isn't he? He's such a big chap. Luke Cox said, quality stream with Mark earlier. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. VVD is our real captain, said Anne O'Brien. Anfield by 9 said, Henderson has proved his worth this calendar year, but Van Dijk is the better captain. Henderson has also been at the club much longer. Draw your own conclusions. Leitrim for Sam said, new subscriber here. Welcome, mate. Thank you. Always appreciate new subscribers, and I hope you continue to enjoy the channel. Hendo should not be made a scapegoat for our poor performances. 100% I agree with you on that, Adam. It's a very, very good point. Well made, sir. Hendo isn't the scapegoat for this, absolutely. And as I said at the start of the stream, this stream is not meant to be a hatchet job on Jordan Henderson. This stream is not meant for us to just poke fun at Jordan Henderson, because I am a fan of Jordan Henderson personally. I think Jordan Henderson does a fine job as Liverpool captain. I'm just addressing an issue that many subscribers have brought up to us, and that I think it's a fair thing to talk about. Jordan simply said, alright mate, on time tonight. Yeah, no diva antics tonight, Jordan, straight on time. Henderson isn't good enough to start, it must be VVD. Well, there is that aspect of it as well, Daly, isn't there? Is Jordan Henderson going to be in a regular starting 11 this season, or indeed next season? With Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back, with Gini Wijnaldum having the form that he's in, with Fabinho looking like he's made the 6 his own, it is a fair question. Of course, Naby Keita as well. Dylan Gunham said VVD or Alisson should be captain maybe. And Tommy C says Virgil van Dijk is a leader with or without the armband. Not an issue. Just get back to winning ways on Wednesday. Yes, well that's one thing we have to do. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on as well. Nothing less than 6 points this week for me, guys, is acceptable with these 2 games coming up. Brian Morrissey says, Craig, no. I said he should be captain next year. Nope. We got the captains, VVD Netherlands, Robertson Scotland, Keita Guinea, Mane Senegal. Good shout. Good shout, the Serpent Line. John Hamilton's in the house as well. How are you, sir? Anna O'Brien says, shows how far United have fallen to hear a packed out Old Trafford bouncing at the end of a 0-0 draw. Yeah, I suppose. Unfortunately, when I was watching, I had to watch the game back, because when I was watching it during the watch alongs, I can't have any audio on because it would be picked up by the microphone, so I have to watch them in silence. But there was good noise there, and there was good noise from the travelling cop as well afterwards. Happy to be back on top of the league, and rightly so. Jay said, we don't need a captain that plays further forward. We need somebody who can influence the front players to improve whilst playing with calmness from the back. Imran Khan is in the house, sir. How are you? Cameron said, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain comes across like a leader in interviews. He is very, very media savvy, Cameron. He's one of the most media savvy footballers I've ever seen. I don't think in his time at Liverpool I've seen Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain do a bad interview. MUFC Gamer says, Keane and Gerrard, great as captains. Now we have Young and Henderson for me. An embarrassment. Our captain should be Pogba. Yours should be Van Dijk. Yeah, I suppose, look, I don't know. I can't speak from Manchester United perspective about whether Paul Pogba should or should not be captain. It's not really my place to say so. From a Liverpool perspective, I can understand the shouts for Virgil van Dijk. I can understand people wanting Henderson to keep the armband. It's an interesting conversation, and I'm not somebody that likes the club captain not to be playing every week. I mean, at some clubs you see, like Cahill for instance, when he was at Chelsea, you see, and Valencia I think at United as well, if I'm not mistaken, or not Valencia, Michael Carrick. The captains don't really play too often, and I would like the club captain to be a regular on the field, I have to say. Joanne, how are you? Welcome into the chat. Hendo wasn't the worst player yesterday. Personally, I wouldn't have taken him off. Not his biggest fan. It's interesting to see. I don't know, Greg, why Jurgen Klopp took him off yesterday. I don't think he was the worst player either, and I don't think we should be looking at him as a scapegoat. I mean, there was certainly much worse than him on the field. I thought James Milner was terrible yesterday. I thought Sadio Mane was shocking. Mo Salah was invisible at times. Bobby Firmino obviously picked up that injury. Fabinho was good. Gini was good. The centre-backs were good. Robertson, it wasn't his greatest game, but he was okay. But what happened to Kepa last night? I'll be fuming with Henderson moaning to come off. Don't need to see it from your captain. I don't think it's fair to really compare. Not that I'm saying you are comparing them, Jordan, but what happened with Kepa and what happened with Jordan Henderson are two completely different things. Jordan Henderson, what happened with him is what's happened with many players who don't want to come off the field. They're pissed off with being substituted, but you know what? He walked off the field. He came off. He didn't shake the manager's hand at first. He applauded the crowd. Jurgen Klopp called him back and said, "Hang on, you didn't shake my hand." Henderson did it and he sat down, and I'm sure that's the end of it. With Kepa, I mean, that's a disgrace. That is an out and out disgrace. To refuse to come off the field, he can lie to the media and say what he wants. He can lie and say that it was a misunderstanding. Bullshit. You can see from his body language yesterday that he had no intention of coming off that field. He embarrassed his manager, he embarrassed his clubs, he made a show of his fans, he made a show of his teammate, Willie Caballero, who was standing on the sideline waiting to come on. That is, I mean, you can't just compare the two. You really can't. It's what happened with Kepa is disgusting. Henderson can't hold down a permanent midfield position. VVD should be captain, said Kev's LFC artwork. I think Van Dijk should be captain next season, but Henderson should be captain for the rest of the season, said Adam Parks. I would be amazed if the captaincy changed, as you said, Adam. I'd be amazed if it changed during the season. That wouldn't put out a good sign at all from the club. All I know is we've conquered all of Europe and we're never going to stop, said Dylan. There you go. Guys, a little bit of a change tonight as well. I'll do tonight's stream. It'll only be on till 11 o'clock because these streams will only be 1 hour going forward. I've put out 2 other streams today. I put out one in the afternoon, a bit of a news stream. And then, of course, we had the one with Mark Goldbridge just before this. And after this, at 11:15, I'm going to be doing my first ever live stream on the Anfield Agenda Instagram account. So I'm going to try and do that most nights. I won't say every night, but most nights I'm going to try and go on and do a 15-minute or so video or live video on the Instagram account. So if you're on Instagram, you can jump over there and watch that one as well. It's really straightforward. It's just at Anfield Agenda if you're on Instagram. And the Twitter account as well, it's the same, just at Anfield Agenda. We have to get 6 points this week, said CG Matt. Have to, and I agree. Nothing less is acceptable. Absolutely nothing less. If we can go out and get 6 points this week, 9 games to go, that's brilliant. That's really, really good. That puts us in a very, very good position with just 9 games to go. Sorry, I'm trying to catch back up for the chat. GFFGGGGG says, I think Henderson should be captain even though he might not be good. He's been at Liverpool for ages and would destroy his confidence, excuse me. Anfield by at 9 said, in my opinion, only the very best and most important players like Alisson and Virgil should be in the team every week without fail. That to me means one of those has to be a permanent captain. Again, I can understand somebody wanting a player that plays most, if not every week, to be captain. Tom Boland said, well, at least Hendo came off when his number was raised, not like that tosser Kepa. That's disrespect to the manager. Which it is. It is. On that, while we're talking about managers and disrespected managers, I read an article earlier on a fan site called, or on a website called fansided.com. Now, I'm sure you guys have probably heard of this before. They do articles from a load of different fan sites from around the place. I think they're just like a hub for fan content. This piece of shit article was basically just a hatchet job on our manager. And I'm not going to give the author any publicity by saying his name on here because he doesn't deserve it, because the article was a piece of shit. But I do want to talk about the fact that I don't like this type of shit going on in the media. This piece of garbage article tried to say that Jurgen Klopp is costing Liverpool the title. Let me say that again. Jurgen Klopp is costing Liverpool the title. It's another wannabe relevant idiot pretending to be a journalist and writing sensationalist bullshit just to try and get his name out there. As I said, I'm not going to use his real name because I've already given this fucker enough free publicity. But to write an article saying that Jurgen Klopp is costing Liverpool the title is the biggest load of me arse I've ever heard. Jurgen Klopp is the reason Liverpool are challenging for the title. And if he makes a mistake or two along the way, do you know what? He's only fucking human. All managers will make mistakes. I could not believe when I came across this article, folks. I tell you, I really couldn't. What a piece of shit thing to write. From somebody obviously trying to carve a name for themselves in the industry by just writing sensationalist nonsense just to try and stir shit and get his name out there. Well, I'm not putting his name out there. I've said the article or the name of the site, but he's not getting any free publicity from me. Please God, Oxlade-Chamberlain be back for the next game, said Will. It's going to be a while yet, Will. Unfortunately, mate. People are saying, can he play soon? No, I would say you're probably still talking 3 or 4 weeks before you see him back. That's just me guessing though, so please don't take anything I say with regards to that as gospel. How will the top 6 finish this season? Liverpool, Manchester City, Spurs, United, Arsenal, Chelsea. That's my guess, Big Jeff. Sorry, that was messy. I meant to say I'd leave Hendo as captain until the summer and change it for next year, said Brian Morrissey. Andy Robertson, no need to ever apologise for being late, buddy. Peter Ortiz said, well done on hitting 9,000 subscribers, Craig. So glad you stuck it out. Love the channel. Thank you, Peter. Really appreciate that, buddy. It's been great. I mean, I was hoping to do it yesterday. We did it today, and that is absolutely amazing. And we're heading towards 10k. It's going to be very satisfying when we hit that 10k mark. And then, do you know what? We push on and we look towards 100k, and we keep trying to go. But a big thank you to everyone that subscribed recently, and of course, everybody that's been here from the start. Without you guys, we wouldn't be on here. We wouldn't keep coming back every night. So, as always, love to you all. We really do appreciate it. All the way to 10k, said Brian Morrissey. Absolutely, mate. And look, as I said earlier on, guys, please do hit that subscribe button if you've just joined us. And drop a like on the stream as well. Fine, bring them on for the last 20 minutes of each game. That could work, said Tom Jones. At this stage of the season, we need a captain that brings calmness, and that's VVD. There's no way, Luke, buddy, that it's going to change midway through the season. I'd be amazed at that. It would just show that Liverpool are panicking, and it would put it out there that Liverpool are in distress, and we're too media savvy and too coy to do that. What would you say to the Liverpool fans who say Klopp out? Well, I would say, mate, Roberto, that I wouldn't even grace them by calling them Liverpool fans, or I wouldn't even give them the I don't know what the phrase I'm trying to say here is. I wouldn't even put them in with Liverpool fans. I would just call them deluded fools, Roberto. Why would you want Jurgen Klopp out? A man who's transformed the club in his time here. A man that's attracted players to the club. A man that's building something big here. A man that's got us in the Champions League. A man that's got us to 2 finals. A man that's got us top of the league. Anybody who wants Jurgen Klopp out is an idiot. That's what I would say to them. I would say that you are an absolute idiot if this person was standing in front of me. I've yet to come across a rational Liverpool fan who wants Jurgen Klopp out, Roberto, mate. I really haven't. Some people would be disappointed if we don't win the league. Of course, that's understandable. But big picture thinking has to be employed here. Why did Milner play at right back? Your guess is as good as mine, Bob. All I can think of is that Jurgen Klopp was a little bit worried that Rashford might do to Trent Alexander-Arnold what happened last season, and he thought that the experience of James Milner in there might be a good idea, which it wasn't, because Milner wasn't great. October said, I'm not pissed at Hendo being pissed off for coming off. At least he came off, which is true. Kepa is a melt, said Alex Merchant. Do you guys have any social media accounts? Yes, of course, mate. We've got roughly 30,000 followers. Well, heading towards on our Twitter account, which is at Anfield Agenda. I think we're heading towards 7,000 followers now on Instagram, which is again just at Anfield Agenda. And of course, you have us on here as well. And there's a Discord group. Some people are too sensitive on the Henderson topic. Some people think he can't be criticised. Absolutely everybody is open for critiquing, mate. I mean, but it's the way people go about it. You know yourself that there are some people out there who are too quick to accuse Jordan Henderson of being the problem all the time when we don't win, and never give him any credit when he puts in a good performance. That being said, there's also people like me who are somewhere along the middle that will speak up if he's had a poor game, but will also defend him if I feel like people are being ruthless and too critical of him. MUFC Gamer said, I understand Henderson's frustrations. He's the captain, and coming off in a huge game shows his passion, which is true. It's a very good show. October said, Kepa acted like a little petulant child. I don't like John Terry, but if Terry was captain, he'd have dog walked him. Yeah, he would have. Do you know what? He probably would have, actually. There's no way that he would have let that shit go on. He would have dragged him off. Him and Lampard would have dragged him off the field. If Alisson did that, what would your thoughts be? I'd be furious. I would be absolutely furious, mate. Nobody is bigger than the manager. It's like going against your own family. It's something you do not do in public. You do it behind closed doors. If you have a disagreement with a family member, I'm somebody that will never ever have that out in public. I will back my family member up to the hilt, and then when we get back to the house or whatever, I'll have my own words with them. But manager's gospel in these situations. You do what the manager fucking says. If the manager says you're coming off the field, then you're coming off the field. And if it was the case with Alisson, I'd be expecting a massive fine from the club. I'd be expecting him to get suspended by the football club, and it's exactly what he'd deserve. But it wasn't, thankfully. It wasn't Alisson, nor do we think Alisson would ever do that. It was that gobshy Kepa. And it's it's very, very systematic of everything that's wrong with Chelsea Football Club. The players have too much power at that club. We've seen them down tools before. We've seen it with Hazard. We've seen them not play when they've want managers to be sacked. And then we've seen what they're capable of when they actually want to show up. I don't think anybody can defend Kepa. I really don't. Sadly, Milner's not the midfield conversation anymore, says Andrew Robertson. I would agree with that. Unless, you know, we're looking to just save legs and we're a couple of goals up. Hendo deserves to lift the title, so keep him till the end of the season. He absolutely does, Bash Gaming. He absolutely does. He really does deserve to lift that title. Score predictions for Watford. Mine is 3-0 to the Reds, said Dylan. I think your score, I might go 2-0. I've been a bit optimistic lately, so do you know what? I'll go 2-0, mate. Congrats on 9k, said Big Jeff. Thank you, buddy. If Gerrard was still our captain, nobody would even talk about changing the captaincy. That shows what fans think of Hendo. Yeah, but that's kind of a bit of a silly thing to say. This is why. It was like when Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United. Whoever came in after him was on a hiding to nothing. Unless they were just unbelievable and won everything. They were on a hiding to nothing. It was the same with the captaincy after Steven Gerrard. Whoever came in after Gerrard was going to be compared to Gerrard, even if they're nothing like Gerrard. They always had to live up to Steven Gerrard. So I think it's been a very, very difficult position for Jordan Henderson to come in and take up that mantle. But when you have Steven Gerrard coming out and backing Jordan Henderson and saying that Jordan Henderson is captain material, then who are we to argue with Steven Gerrard, a man who's been there and done it? Luke Cox says the fixtures are in our favour. I'm confident. So am I, buddy. I am. I'm very confident. I just wanted to end it. I had to end yet last week. I'd get out of Old Trafford, top of the league. After that, I was sound, and I'm still sound, and that's probably why I was a bit more optimistic than everybody else after that performance yesterday. I wanted us to get out of there, top of the league, and after that, I feel like we will get on a roll now. I feel like the forwards will start clicking a little bit more. I feel like confidence will be up, and we've got through a difficult period, still top of the league. I just joined the stream and thought that was your opinion. No, Jesus, not at all, mate. No, this is just an open, honest debate. My opinion is that Jordan Henderson should keep the captain's armband. Hendo works his socks off, but you could name many, many players that do the same. Is he really what we want in the midfield and our club captain? He's Dirk out without the goals and the assists. Yeah, that's you know, it's a fair conversation or fair show. He does work hard. I think he does what the manager asks of him most of the time, but are we being a bit harsh on a lot of the midfielders because we don't have that one creative spark in midfield? Just a thought. Boya is in as well. How are you, mate? Interesting thought, buddy. What do you think on the whole Brendan Rodgers thing? Leicester City FC, Boya. Something I wanted to have a chat with you about at some point. I don't know if you ever wanted me to come on the channel and discuss it. Let me know. Hit me up on that one. Alright, Craig, I'm off to bed now. I'll pop in sometime this week. No bother, Cameron, mate. Have a good one. Paper never refused, Craig. Always be Egypt's. I don't understand what that means, Craig, mate. You've lost me. Liam, I am tickety-boo. Thank you for asking, buddy. Wolves to beat Arsenal to 6th place, said Alex Merchant. That's a big shout. Big shout, buddy. Although, do you know what? I wouldn't give a shit if they did. Don't get me wrong. I couldn't care less. It's only Arsenal. Watching your success and just smiling, said D. Ryder. I hope you're talking about us and not Liverpool. But of course, I hope you're talking about both, D. But thank you. That's really kind. If we get 6 points this week, Craig, City will be shitting themselves, which they will. Damn right. And they've still got to go to Old Trafford. Don't forget this. Oh, paper never refused. Ink there, I get you. If he loses the captaincy, he would lose confidence as well, which is true, Ethan. It is true. But is he going to play next season a lot of games? I've seen some media outlets trying, and these aren't ones, but like I'm not talking about the Echo or anything like that here. I'm talking about more overseas ones or smaller outlets trying to say that we might not even see Jordan Henderson at the club next season. Now, that's another conversation. Klopp doesn't play. Look what he did to Shaqiri after pre-season. Ella said, can't wait for you to hit 10k, Craig. Thank you. Do you know what the weird thing about trying to hit 10k is? And myself and Connor were talking about this. We're going to actually have to make the little box a bit bigger, which is a silly little thing to think about, but it's just something that you do actually have to think about. Small little insignificant details like that. Some of my messages are disappearing in the chat. Well, no, they aren't, mate. They don't just disappear in the chat. There's nothing in the system to make them disappear, mate. Maybe I'm just not reading them out, but they're definitely not disappearing because there's no reason that they should. Just subscribed. I'm from Cork, said Sock. How are you, pal? Welcome into the chat. Thoughts on our front three's form? Oh, that's definitely a conversation worth having, isn't it? Mane, he went through a decent period where he scored 4 and 4, but he's been very poor recently. Very sloppy, final ball terrible, control not great, and just not reading. It's like he's a bit lackadaisical. Mo Salah, I'm on the fence about. I do understand that he's not in form. I get that. I also think he's been marked out of games a lot, but at the same time, he still should be doing a bit more. Bobby Firmino, I'm always going to defend Bobby. Always. I'm a massive Bobby Firmino fan and I like what he brings to the team. But we do need to start sticking in a few more goals and we do need that little spark to click. So I can't really say they've been brilliant. How is Bobby regarding his injury? I don't know, Jay. I've been trying to find out all day. Hand on heart, I'd be amazed if he plays on Wednesday. Even with the fact that they said it was a precaution that he went on crutches and Jurgen Klopp said that he felt he might be able to play on. The next day, when you've rolled your foot like that, there's going to be at least some bruising. I've no idea if there's any damage to the ligaments or the tendons, but I would be amazed if he plays on Wednesday, I have to say. I hope we're going to get good news. I hope it's nothing serious and I hope he's not going to be out for a couple of weeks, but I wouldn't say it's looking good for Wednesday, but look, it's just a guess. Spurs still haven't drawn in the league, I know, and it's nuts, isn't it? 27 games and they haven't drawn one. It is crazy. What are the Blue Spanners? They are moderators of the channel, Leitrim. That means that if somebody's trolling or somebody's been abusive, the guys with the Blue Spanners are able to remove their comments or time them out of the chat or remove them altogether. David Dallow's in the house. How are you, sir? Great to have you in. Clap out on the touchline. You'll never walk alone, said Joanne. Can you believe some stupid fan said Klopp is stupid and he wants Klopp to leave? Yeah, he's a gobshite, mate. That's my answer to that one, plain and simple. Do you think if Klopp doesn't win anything, he'd be under pressure? No, I don't. Not at all. Again, I'll answer you like this. Firstly, there's only 4 trophies to play for every season. You know, you're talking about a European trophy and the 3 domestic trophies. Very hard to win one. What I ask for every year, I look for from our team, is progression. Last year, we got to a Champions League final and that was brilliant and we played some scintillating football. In the Premier League, we finished 24, 25 points behind Manchester City. This season, after 27 games, we're a point ahead against probably the best assembled squad in Premier League history. And we're a point ahead of them at this moment in time, Justin. So that's progression to me, buddy, and it shows we're going in the right direction. We've attracted players like Fabinho, Virgil van Dijk, Alisson. You've seen that the owners have backed them to the hilt. Everything is in place for us to succeed. It's just a matter of a few little things clicking, and this season could be it. We could win the Premier League title this season. If we don't, it is going to be majorly disappointing, no two ways about it. But from my own perspective, it wouldn't even enter my head to think about Jurgen Klopp leaving. It's fortunate that Liverpool that the United City game have been pushed back to April with our injuries. With Fernandinho and City flop, they are a shell without them. Liverpool going to win the league. It would have been nice for that game not to be pushed back, actually, because if they were playing them quite soon, both teams would have been down with players, so you never know what might have happened. But on the Fernandinho and Laporte thing, for those two to be out for Manchester City is a big deal because they've played the most minutes of any outfield players for Manchester City this season. Over 3,000 minutes each, I think. But we've seen what happened when they were without Fernandinho earlier on over the Christmas period. They dropped points, so you never know. I'm expecting Manchester City to drop points over the next 3 or 4 games. Alex McDonald said, Klopp out? No way. Yes, the team are not flying and blowing teams away, but we're still top of the league. Some people need to get a clue and support the team. Ambi said, hey Craig, how are you? I really hope that we'll collect the points against Watford. As do I, my friend. Watford coming off a massive win, of course, away against Cardiff, but I think we'll do it. And then I think we'll go to Goodison and leave there with 3 points as well. People had a little go at me. Not a go at me, that's probably not the right thing to say. People were saying, Craig, why are you being so blasé about the fact that we're going to go to Goodison Park and leave with 3 points? I mean, we've drawn 5 of our last 7 games at Goodison Park. Yeah, but it's Everton. So you've got to be disrespectful to Everton. Well, not disrespectful, but you've just got to let them know their place, don't you? They so want to be on a par with Liverpool. They so want to be talked about in the same way. They so want to be relevant. And it's just fun to let them know that they aren't or never will be. Biggie Small said, my fear about Salah is his contract. I don't know if he's got the same hunger as last season. I don't think that at all, mate. I mean, I wouldn't say Salah's worrying about money. What's the difference between 150 grand a week and 200 grand a week or 250 grand a week? It's still a shit ton of money, really, isn't it? And when you get to the level that he's at, you just want to be the best. You just want to be the best. You get to that level by having that hunger, that desire to be better than everybody else or to keep improving. And I think he wants to win titles now at this point, and I really think the Premier League would be a great start for him. It's often said we've the best front three in Europe, but do we really? On form, Tonic, I think. On form, like look at last season and our run to the Champions League final. Our front three were just tearing teams apart. Now, whether it's a change in style this year from the manager or whether the front three just aren't clicking, I'm not really educated enough in coaching to say, but as fans we can look at this and say that they're not putting in the same numbers, they don't look the same, but there's still time. There's still time for that spark to hit. MUFC Gamer said Luke Shaw was superb against Salah. He gets bashed a lot. People said he's underrated. I think he deserved the man of the match yesterday, if I'm being honest. Kills me to say that though, but look, I'm always trying to be honest. Don't think you always have to have your captain on the field. If you've got leaders in the field to fill in, and with VVD, Alisson, Robbo, Genie, it'll be okay, said Harry Carling. Thank you for that one, mate. What do you think of Divock Origi? I don't think he should be at the club, and I don't think Daniel Sturridge should be at the club. I don't think they're good enough to be here. I think he's a better option for us than Daniel Sturridge at this moment in time. For instance, if Bobby Firmino was out, I would rather Origi start than Daniel Sturridge. But in saying that, I don't think he's at the level for us. But I think there is a player in there, and I think when he turns to 25, 26, you'll probably start seeing a much better Divock Origi. We just can't wait that long. Park the bus, Man United park the bus, said John M. Doing my head in, this Klopp out brigade, said Craig Weston. I didn't even know there really were people, mate, who want the Klopp out. Like genuine people, not just trolls from other clubs, pretending to be Liverpool fans. I really did not believe that there were people who wanted Jurgen Klopp out. That's nuts. We've done that one. 11 games left. Yep. Said that earlier on. I said there'd be 9 games left after this week's 2 games. Last season, Rafa helped beat Chelsea towards the end. Chelsea were sniffing for 4th. Fingers crossed. His players were on the beach when we played him for the last, what are we, 2nd or 3rd last game against Newcastle. Salah's a great goal scorer, but the other parts of his game need work. I think he's rushing his play, said Tonic. I'm still baffled that we didn't swap him over to go at Ashley Young. I just don't believe that we didn't do that yesterday when we had an opportunity. Klopp shows Hendo where the hammer is hanging, says Rod. That's one of the most original comments so far tonight, Rod. Or the morning for you, my friend, I should say. Okay, some more comments. Hey Craig, first thing I did was to give a like. Thank you, Red Tick Gaming. Appreciate that one, buddy. And as you can see, we've gone over 9,000 subscribers, guys, which has brought a smile to my face. So thank you so much to everybody that subscribed. But please do hit that button if you haven't done so already, and you can help us out on the road to 10,000. The clock is really ticking now. We've got what, about 15 days to try and get that last 950 odd likes, or subscribers I should say. So if you are watching, please do hit that button. What happened to Sturridge? I don't know if injuries have caught up with him. I don't know if the hunger isn't there. I don't know if the explosiveness has gone, Robin, but he isn't the same Daniel Sturridge, and he stayed injury free this year, which we cannot really debate, but he's not the same player, mate, is he? Justin said Hendo needs to leave, Milner needs to improve, Origi and Sturridge out, Lallana out, Mignolet out, Moreno out, Matip in. Right, let me just go through these one by one. I'll go backwards if that's okay, Justin. Matip I would sell because he's too injury prone. Lovren I'd also sell, by the way, for the same reasons, not because of the quality. Moreno's gone. I mean, that's not even a conversation. His contract is up. Mignolet will get a move. He's been quite professional this year. He wanted a move in the summer, so I think Klopp will give him that move this summer. Lallana, I agree. I'd move on Adam Lallana. Sturridge is gone. His contract is up. Origi, the club have been trying to move on for a couple of windows. Milner, I don't know. I think if Leeds come up, I think there's a good chance he might actually go there. And Henderson leaving, I wouldn't be against it, but it wouldn't be something that I would be actively looking to do, if you get where I'm coming from. I mean, I'm either way on that one. I'm kind of on the fence. I can understand both sides of the argument. Jordan Henderson can be very, very good at times doing the job that he's asked to do, and other times he can just look a little bit meh. But I'm definitely not a Henderson hater. I'm not one of those people. What's your thoughts on the news that Liverpool are fully back in Jurgen this summer window? I think it's not really news, Alfie. I think it's just the media building up bullshit. Basically, it all stems from an interview that Billy Hogan did with Football FC magazine, or some Football Business FC, or something along those lines, where he just said, basically, that the money's always been there to support Jurgen Klopp, and that the money will be continuously there to support Jurgen Klopp. And people are jumping all over this and blowing it out of all proportion, as if to say that Jurgen Klopp's going to go out and spend 200 million again this summer. I don't know. He's always been supported, so I don't think there's ever been an issue there. And if Jurgen Klopp wants Timo Werner and Jurgen Klopp wants a centre-back this summer, I fully believe that they'll go and get them from him. I don't think he's ever been denied money. I just think this is just people looking to get clicks, mate, and looking to sensationalise things, excuse me. A couple of weeks ago we heard the exact opposite, actually, didn't we, from... Who's the gentleman that writes for the Times? I can never remember his feckin' name. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. He said the exact opposite. He said that Liverpool aren't going to go big this summer. No superstars, no marquee signings. Blue Nose Shite said, Kev, with regards to Everton, how many points has Alisson saved us so far? I don't know, buddy, but 15 clean sheets in his first season so far is not to be sniffed at all. Sub said Sturridge needs to go to Derby County. I don't think he dropped down to the divisions, mate. I think he's more likely to go abroad than drop down to the divisions. Just a guess, though. Trevor Beattie, how are you, mate? Welcome into the chat. Rod said, make Moreno captain, excuse me. This will confuse the enemy and himself and will blow all of our heads clean off, Rod. Shite is a strong word, people. Let's not use it to describe our players. Look, to be fair, Tonic, Moreno is shite. That's just a fact, mate. I mean, you might think it's a strong word, and I love where you're coming from on this one. I know you're trying to protect the players, but Moreno is shite. That to me is just a straightforward fact. But I do get where you're coming from, and I do respect what you're saying, sir. So please don't think I'm having a go. Declan Rice is better than Henderson. That's complete bollocks. He hasn't proven anything yet. Declan Rice has had a good start to his career at West Ham. Jordan Henderson's been a top level Premier League footballer for 7 seasons, something like that. Jordan Henderson's gone to World Cups. Jordan Henderson's played in Champions League finals. Declan Rice will go on to be a fantastic footballer, but I mean it's a very blasé comment to just say he's better than Henderson right now because he's had a good 6 months at West Ham, who are middling in the Premier League. Paul Joyce, that's the fella. Thank you, Greg. I can never remember his name, mate. I don't know why. I can see his Twitter account in my head, and I respect everything that he writes because I think he's a fantastic journalist, but I can never remember his name. The MLS probably, Sean, is a good show for Sturridge. 2 teams in LA he could have a shout with now. LA Galaxy, of course, and LAFC. Theo Knight Hansan said, thanks for the game, Liverpool. Both teams were crap. Kind of an anticlimax, and 0-0 was a fair result. Theo, I think you've summed it all up there, mate. It was an anticlimax and it was a crap game. From my point of view, I was happy all week to leave Old Trafford with a point. The way the game played out, either side could have probably been a bit pissed off with it, but put us back on top of the league, buddy, and to me that's all that mattered for us. Theo, do you think you're going to carry on, mate, and get 4th place this season? I'd love to know your thoughts on that. I can see Sturridge signing for somebody like West Ham. I can't see West Ham. I get where you're coming from with the type of signing, but West Ham have had an awful time with the likes of Andy Carroll and stuff, I can't see them gambling on another possible injury-prone player. We absolutely need Hendo next season, said Senior at Flamo. This season is long and his quality needs to help our team if we fight on all four fronts. On James Milner, actually, he was talking about the result at Old Trafford and admitted that Liverpool need to work on breaking teams down. He said, we've got to look where we can improve. We've got the ball and teams are just sat back. We've come up against it a lot this season. Teams showing a lot of respect against us with the players that we've got. That's something we've got to adapt to and work on how to break down. Around the box, we didn't manage to open them up as much as we like. They're a confident team at the moment and are well organised, so it's never going to be easy to break them down. But with the players that we've got, we should and would have liked to create more opportunities. It's exactly as we're all thinking as well, isn't it? United were defensively solid yesterday, but we were toothless. And toothless is a phrase that I keep using because I think it's probably the fairest way of describing it. I can see Sturridge signing for someone like West Ham. I've done that one. Opinions on Matip and should he be replaced? Yes, he should be replaced. I think he's done well when he's been in, though. Don't get me wrong. I love the way he carries the ball out of defence, and his little run against United yesterday to win that free kick was just brilliant. But look back through his time at Liverpool, and he hasn't put a run of games together because he's always picking up soft tissue injuries. And for me, that's the big reason why. When we have injuries to Joe Gomez or when we're looking to have backup centre-backs, you need a pair there that can come in and get through a run of games. And sadly, it looks like Lovren and Matip can't, and for that reason, I'd move them on. Corey Westby said, just got back from the Forest versus Derby County, and Wilson was quiet. 1-0, wasn't it? 1-0 to Forest. I just caught a glance of it, Corey, before I came on. It's not going great over the last couple of games for Derby, is it? Are they still in the playoff places, or have they slipped out? Hendo is our leader, said Craig Weston. Not a Hendo hater, just have hundreds of points against him being our captain and him being a starter. Well, look, him being a starter, I suppose, is a different conversation, Joy. But on him being our captain, please do feel free, buddy, to post in some of those points you have against him, and I'm happy to read them out. We should sign Werner, said Rishi. I think we will sign Werner, Rishi. I've been very confident about that for a few weeks, and as time goes by, I'm more and more confident that we're going to sign Timo Werner. Liverpool's biggest mistake is not signing a number 10 in the summer or winter, i.e. Fekir. We tried to sign exactly that gentleman, but for whatever reason, and we all think it was down to the knee, but none of us know that for certain, he wasn't signed. But I agree with you, we absolutely do need a number 10, or somebody who can play between the lines at least. More ballers, less workmen in the midfield next year. All our players have to defend anyway. I think next year we're probably looking, just say we didn't sign anyone in the midfield, I'd say we're probably looking at Fabinho, Gini / Keita, and then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, which is, it's decent. It's decent. October said there's 199 watching but 80 likes. If you could all get clicking, that would be great, and hit that like button. And of course, if you're new in, please do hit the subscribe button as well, and help us send Connor to Space Camp. When we hit 10,000, we're sending Connor to this imaginary space camp in our heads, but you know what I'm trying to say anyway. Derby are outside the playoffs at the moment. They're 7th. Yeah, so some work to do there. And to think that there were some people calling for him to get the Chelsea job, which was weird. Oxlade-Chamberlain is our 10 role, said Prez Salah. He's a different kind of player though, mate, isn't he? He has those powerful runs and he's clever, but I don't know if he has the final through ball. He's more somebody that's great coming onto a ball than somebody I think who can break open a defence. But look, having him back is going to be massive for us. Mark my words, if we don't go on to win the league, it's going to be because we don't have a centre attacking midfielder. It's impossible to say that, mate, though, isn't it? Really. I mean, if we don't go on to win the league, it could be because Salah has had a bad run of games. It could be because our defence lets in a couple of goals at the end. I mean, it's just an easy hole for us to pick at, I think. But I can't argue the fact that we do need somebody there, so there is that. If Hendo and Milner both leave, VVD will be the only leader at the club. Well, Robertson, left back, Scottish captain. Mane, Senegalese captain. Van Dijk, as you said, Dutch captain. We've got Keita, who was not a leader just yet at the club, is the Ghanaian. Is it Ghanaian? Is that the right word to say? Captain. Fabinho, Oxlade, and Wijnaldum would be cool. A lot of variety in that front three. I've seen a couple of people asking, are we doing a watch along of the game on Wednesday? Yes, we will be doing a watch along of the game. It's not on TV in the UK or Ireland, so like last time, it might not be a blow for blow commentary. It might be, you know, you helping me helping you, and us just reacting together. The striker's got to score, and we must stop having a go at the midfield, said Craig Weston. What we need is goals from midfield. Come on, Oxlade Chamberlain. Was it a point gained or 2 points dropped looking forward? What should be our concern? It was a bit of both, I think, Akul. Before the game, I would have said a point is fine. With the way the game panned out, and as many injuries as United had, you could possibly say we could have gone for the jugular and got 3 points. But I'm somebody that looks at the big picture, and I wanted a point before the game minimum. We took that point. We're back on top of the league. The next 2 games are huge. There's no hiding away from that. We got to get 3 points against Watford. We got to get 3 points against Everton, and then we're in a good place. Sean Luke or Doherty said, what do you think of our chances going into the second leg against Bayern Munich? An away goal, mate, will make all the difference. It means they are going to have to come at us to score 2. And if they come at us, it opens up and it gives us a chance to catch them. So I think we've got a good chance there. If we score the first goal, I'm very confident. And let's not forget, they also haven't got a couple of players. Kimmich, see the way I did there? See what I did for you there, October? Kimmich is unavailable, and who's the other player that picked up an injury for them? That's out. I can't remember who it is. Left-sided player. Somebody will put it in the chat. My mind's gone blank. I've read so many notes today and gone through so many things that I've absolutely just gone blank on who the other player is. But they're missing a couple of players anyway. The opposition done so much homework to keep Salah out before this season, except for other LFC players. What's your say? They've done a lot. They've doubled and trebled up on him at times, Red Team Gaming. But I also feel we haven't helped Mo Salah a lot of the time as well. We haven't got enough runners in and around him when he does manage to hold up possession. And in theory, a couple of players, maybe 3, marking up him, should free up space somewhere else. But we're not exploiting that space. United fan here, were you happy with the point yesterday? And do you think should have killed the game off when we had the chance? Or when you had the chance? It was tough for both teams, I'll say, Jay, because whilst United had the 3 injuries in the first half, we also lost Firmino, and that kind of made the entire first half a bit stop-starty, and it was tough to get a rhythm in the second half. United went back into a defensive shape, and yeah, it was a fair result. It was a fair result. Could have been different if we had had a few pot shots. I mean, I'm not happy we didn't have a few shots from distance at least. De Gea had nothing to do in that game, which is very disappointing. But yeah, I'm happy enough. I can see both sides of the argument, Jay. And as I said before the game, I would have taken a point and leaving with a point. I can't be too disappointed, really. Thiago from Bayern will be excellent at Liverpool. Such a good passer and dribbler. Can use both feet and loves a shot outside the box, which is what we need for our midfield. David Williams said, well done on 9k. Thank you very much, David. Der Spiegel is out as well, Greg. Yeah, Der Spiegel is definitely out. Everton only wish they were in our position. Damn right they do. Manchester United fans were blaming Liverpool players for injuring 4 other players. Well, that's just bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. I mean, Lingard, I would argue, shouldn't have been brought on anyway, because he was clearly going to carry a knock and he was on the edge. Alisson did nothing to him except take the ball off him, and Lingard went awkwardly. I mean, it's just unlucky. Rashford, fair play to him. He carried on throughout the game. I don't think Bobby Firmino's injury was just a freak thing as well. He just went over and rolled his foot when his studs got caught in the ground. I don't think anybody intentionally injured anybody there yesterday. Just complete bitterness, if anyone's saying that. David Tobin, if we beat Bayern, do you think we would favour the Premier League or try 100% for both trophies? I think we're going to try 100% for both trophies, David. Yeah, because the Champions League, it's only a couple of games every so often, really, isn't it? What if we get through this one, there's maximum of 5 games left in that competition. Quarter-final 2 games, semi-final 2 games, and then the final game. So I'd say you go balls out for both, mate, but the Premier League has to be, I suppose, the priority, but when you're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, you cannot but go for it. Totally agree, Craig. Our players are not helping and protecting Mohamed Salah. Nobody, no update yet. Got cool that I've heard on Bobby Firmino. Guys, we have about 8 minutes left on tonight's stream because, as I said, this is now Houlden's happy hour, so the streams are only going to be one hour long at night time, and I'll be then on Instagram at about 11:15 for a few minutes on there. So if you want to pop over to Instagram, any questions or anything like that, I'll take them over there. Best Liverpool fan on YouTube. Thank you, mate. That's so kind of you, Akima. Thank you. I'm so happy where we are right now, said David Williams. We're top of the league, buddy. I love saying it so much. Top of the league. What you're starting 11 for Wednesday? I want to wait to hear about Bobby Firmino. If we can assume Firmino isn't playing, I would go for Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Keita, Gini Wijnaldum, Mane, Salah, Origi. I'd probably put Origi in. That'd probably be Origi and Keita are probably the two changes I'd make. Oh, obviously, and Trent as well back in, which I said. Problem is we're not playing with the same intensity as last season in the Champions League. Yeah, I can't argue with that. He has to let the reins off, doesn't he, at some point, and just say, go on, lads, go out there and express yourselves and just go for it. Just one strange game with all the injury, nobody's fault. It was, Jay. It was a very weird game. Such a letdown for both sets of fans because we both wanted that to be a real two sides going at each other head to head, 100 miles an hour, and it just wasn't. Is Ryan Brewster close with Firmino? Maybe out, might need him. Again, I'd say he's another one of these that will get a few minutes towards the end of this season, but I don't think we're going to see him or Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain really make much of an impact this season. I always just like to think of them as not going to be around, Greg, and anything else is a bonus. But I really am looking forward to seeing Ryan Brewster next season and seeing what he can do. The crossing needs to improve, and there's an argument to letting other teams have more possession to exploit more space when we break. And there's also an argument to say that we should be pressing higher up the field with more intensity from the start of the games and allowing a little bit more space in behind. And just saying to teams, right, you think you can play around us? Go for it. I just think we have to let the reins off at some point. Even being a United fan, where's that one gone? Sorry, I missed that comment there. Sorry, fuck. Even being a United fan, good content. Thank you, Scott. That's really kind of you, mate. Would you take Nathan Ake at Liverpool? He switches off a little bit, sauce overload. No doubt there's a player in there. Maybe under a manager like Jurgen Klopp he'd get better. And I'm always happy to bring in a younger player like that could still develop. And so I wouldn't say no, but I'd rather, is it Lascelles? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Jamal Lascelles, him. I'd rather him from Newcastle. But with him just signing a new contract this season and being club captain, it would cost a shitload of money to get him out of there. So you may as well try and throw all your money into a pot to go and get the lit. Liam's going for Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Matip, Robbo, Fabinho, Gini, Keita, Shaqiri, Mo and Sadio. The only thing about Shaqiri for me, Liam, is I just don't think he's done it this season when he's got 90 minutes. I just think he's disappeared in games. But look, can I make a better argument for Origi? Not really. We're not winning the Watford game with 3 DMs like we had on Sunday. We're not going to play 3 DMs on Sunday or on Wednesday. We're going to go with Fabinho, Gini and probably Keita, and that'll probably be our midfield. Trent, Matip, VVD, Robbo, Keita, Fabinho, Gini, Shaqiri, Salah and Mane for Biggie Smalls. Is it just me or I think Salah is best when Trent's playing at right back? Well, Milner did him no fucking favours against United, that's for sure. I'm a huge James Milner fan, but that was a terrible performance by him. From his crossing right down to his all-around play, I just don't think he was that good. Do you think we need to sign a clinical number 9 striker? We need a Timo Werner. I'm putting it that blunt. We need him, him and only him, I think, because I think he does everything we want him to do. He can play across the front three. He can play as a striker. He's got pace, ridiculous pace actually for a forward. So yeah, just him for me, Regs. I agree Mo is better when Trent plays, said Eric Worry. Couldn't think of a better number 9 than Firmino. I wouldn't mind seeing Firmino dropping back in to play just behind the front three though. Nathan Aki and VVD, 2 Dutch centre-backs. Pragmaverts. Kev has put the link in there for the Anfield Agenda Instagram account if anybody wants to click it there. It's Kev29 has it there, Kevla29, excuse me. As I said, I'll be going on there at about 11:15. Whatever you guys want to chat about on there, let me know. I think we need a backup left back and a backup left winger, said O-Dog. Definitely a backup left back, mate. I cannot argue with that one bit. Does anyone else hate out swinging corners? Yes, Michael, I do. Unless it's a set routine where you've got something worked out, where you're playing it to the edge of the box to have a volley or something once in a blue moon. Other than that, mate, stick it in between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. I'm old school like that. We've got Milner, you've got Young, the last of their generation. Yeah, 2 good careers as well for both of them. Would you have Aspas back? No. It just doesn't work out for him in the Premier League. He just seems to be suited to being at Celta Vigo and being in the Spanish League. The guy Drifty, I don't know who the fuck he is, said we drew with United that we bottled the league again, and he said I told you so. He told you so nothing. We've bottled fuck all. We're top of the league. So I don't know who this Drifty guy is. I don't know if he's a United stand lad. I don't know who the fuck he is. But how can he say we bottled the league when we're top of the fucking league? Do these people need a continuous maths lesson? But corners have been woeful. Well, we've scored 11 goals this season from set piece, more than any other team in the Premier League. And that might be from corners, actually. But we are top of that pile, so... again, just goes to show how our perceptions can sometimes be a little bit off. Wilfried Zaha, possible striker for Liverpool. Not as a striker. As a wide player, yes. But he's not a striker. Not for us anyway, but he would do. Don't get me wrong, I'd take him. It's so frustrating seeing Salah, Mane, Firmino, edge of the box, thinking the shoot, but they pass. Yeah, I agree. Pull the damn trigger. Pull the trigger at times. Anything can happen. It can take a deflection. The keeper could spill it. You might just get a corner out of it from the keeper tipping it round, but either way, at least pull the damn trigger. Does anyone else remember Balotelli? Unfortunately, yes. Drifty's a Liverpool fan from the Football Banter show on YouTube. He's completely lost hope. Oh, you told me about this miserable fucker before, didn't you? Look, I'd hate to be him. I mean, fucking sucks being him if he's that miserable. Let him live in his little miserable existence. I guarantee you if we do win the league, he'll be the first one saying, "You'll never walk alone. Liverpool forever. I love Jurgen Klopp." Yeah, I mean, people like him do my fucking head in. It's alright being doubtful, but just keep it to yourself, mate. There's no need to spread that negativity. I don't know him, I said, but I already don't fucking like him. Evening Craig, past few games Henderson has played amazing. He was holding that midfield and being so calm on the ball. I do think Van Dijk should be captain because of his leadership skills, which I understand. Right guys, last show for subscribers. We are just 4 subs away from hitting 9,050, so if you're watching, please do hit that button. I am going to call it a night right there. It is now 11 o'clock. Houlden's happy hours unfortunately had to come to an end. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon at about 4 o'clock with another news update, and then I'll be here at 10 o'clock tomorrow night for another Houlden's happy hour. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us. As I said, we did a stream with Mark Goldbridge at 9 o'clock, and that one's up as well on our list of videos if you want to give that one a watch. Yeah, not much else to say guys, except a massive thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you to everyone that subscribed. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. Hopefully I'll catch a few of you over on Instagram in about 15 minutes. Until then, tell your loved ones you love them, look after your families, and up the motherfucking Reds.